And then Jen, I just kind of pulled from your website. So after I read your intro, if you're like, that's wrong, just let me know and we
Okay.
can edit something out. But
Sure.
okay. Hey Jabbers, today we are joined by Jen Campbell, the founder and creative director of Green Wedding Shoes, one of the most influential wedding and lifestyle platforms out there. Jen built Green Wedding Shoes from the ground up, starting as a blog to share unique, creative weddings that broke away from tradition. Over the years, it's grown into a full on brand, inspiring couples, vendors, and creatives around the world to make their wedding day truly their own. She's known for her incredible eye for design, her passion for storytelling, and her belief that there's no one right way to celebrate love. Jen runs Green Wedding Shoes alongside her husband Jason, and together they've created a space that celebrates creativity, individuality, and all kinds of love stories. They live in Los Angeles, California, and when they aren't working on the site, they love hanging out with their two daughters, Sienna and Dakota, traveling, listening to music, checking out the newest LA foodie spot, and enjoying the amazing LA weather. They definitely find that the Southern California lifestyle inspires their design and interest. Jen, we are so excited to have you here today to talk about what blogging looks like now with emerging technology, trends that we're loving, and let's be honest, some trends that we just want to leave behind, AI and content creation, and what's next for the wedding world.
Thank you for having me. So excited to be here and chat with you guys all things wedding today. Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Okay, and I have to say this because I think for wedding planners, this is like a big fan moment. Like I am like, oh my God, Jen, the Jen from Green Wedding Shoes is here. Like this is so cool. And I have to tell you, Jen, I had a two-part feature on your blog one year. This is back in 2017-ish. And it brings me leads to this day. Like it is one of my biggest money making like referral wedding thing. And so I will forever bow down to Green Wedding Shoes.
That is amazing to hear, especially set from 2017. Like, that's just the power of getting yourself published and having it out there and what it can do for you. Like, that's amazing.
Yeah. No, it's so fun. I had to tell you
Yeah.
that because
Yes, thank you for sharing that. I
yeah.
love hearing that. That makes me so happy. That's honestly like my goal, just helping couples find the amazing vendors out there. You guys find the amazing couples and like come together. That's like when that happens, that's love it.
Match
Yeah.
made in heaven.
Was that your glamping wedding, Gabby?
Yeah. Yeah. It was
Yeah.
the OG under canvas
Oh,
wedding. Yeah.
yes.
Mhm.
And we don't share many two-part weddings, so that's a big
No.
deal for you. Yeah.
Yeah. You guys called it, well, it was Wedding Cella. And I think it was like the very beginning of that kind of
The
that
kind of
theme.
glamping. Yeah.
Yes. And I was like, man, to this day, people are still pinning it. So yeah, good. Yay for us. Okay. So Jen, you have to tell us like how did you get started with Green Wedding Shoes? And Carrie and I were saying we feel like you're one of the OGs in that space. And were there other competitors in the market at the time you started? How did you make yourself different?
Yes. Okay. So I started back in 2008. It was right after I planned my wedding. I was working as an art director, creative director for online, like movie websites, doing websites for movies out here in LA. And my company was always doing, like I say, the guy movies. Like we did Spider-Man, Bad Boys, all kinds of like guys, like never romantic comedies. I'm like, come on, something like something girly. So I think when I started planning my wedding, I just kind of fell in love with wedding planning and just all that stuff. I was never someone who dreamed about my wedding and that kind of stuff. And I just kind of thought we'd just run off and elope and not really, didn't want to do all this stuff, but planned it, loved creating the mood board, coming up with the whole concept and just doing something different. We got married out in the woods of Lake Michigan. And my husband was just kind of like, we're gonna get married in the woods. Like people do that. Like I'm like, yes, let's do that. Like it'd be so fun. Like at the venue we went to was even like, here's where everyone gets married. I'm like, well, what if we did it over here? And I know probably venues are like, no, but I was like, it would be so like, we didn't have, it was maybe like 50 people. So it wasn't huge, but I'm like, I would love to do it over here, like kind of in the woods, not on your little pavilion. She's
Mhm.
like, I guess we could do that. So just kind of like pushing it. I don't, it's just so much fun. So afterwards, I kind of missed it. I think that's common with a
Mhm.
lot of brides today now too. So I thought, I'm like, hey, at that time there was publications, or Brides, The Knot, that kind of stuff. And there was Style Me Pretty had just kind of started off. just but doing very traditional kind of pretty
Mhm.
stuff. I'm like, I feel like I could do something like this, but kind of with my own twist, kind of more just couples who really were focused on design and that kind of aesthetic. So I kind of started a blog just made as a creative outlet, kind of thinking maybe I'd be a wedding designer. I thought maybe that could be like a fun new, like take my expertise there, like thought it would kind of make as a good mix and kind of started the blog. And then it like all of a sudden really it's one of those things where you realize like, oh, people are looking at this besides like our parents. And it just started taking off. And I was like, well, I do have experience in the online space designing websites. And I kind of always wanted to be, I wanted to work at a magazine and do layouts for magazines. And so it's very similar kind of stuff. So kind of taking all those interests and then realized that blogging was kind of, it was just kind of the right time, like
Mhm.
2008, 2009, 2010 is just when blogs were taking off. And just kind of used my expertise there. Had my husband's like, okay, if you can get people there, I can help you figure out how to monetize it. I'm like, I can get people
Mhm.
here. I don't know how to make money off it, but I can get people there, I think. So it just kind of took off. Like it was kind of the OG blogging. There was a bunch of us that kind of, I call it like the good old days of blogging because there was probably like 20 or 30 of us that were just all friends and we were sharing stuff and linking to each other. And it was just kind of like a fun way to just promote each other. Everyone would in the morning, they'd get up, they'd go check out the blog, see what the new post of the day was. And it was just, I don't know, it was so fun. It was so fun back in those early days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, just looking for something different. I don't think at that time there were a lot of, everyone was doing something very traditional. We were trying
Mhm.
to break out of that. I wanted to share photographers that were doing different stuff, designers doing different stuff, couples that were wearing maybe it wasn't your traditional wedding dress at that point too. There wasn't a ton in the like wedding fashion space either. I think it's really taken off in the past 10 years. But just kind of bridging this, creative gap between like creatives and clients and sharing like what people could find out there.
Because how are you finding these cool people and trends? Like, were they coming to you just by who you knew, or were you putting call outs to say, "Hey, I'm looking for like really
Yeah.
unique weddings"?
Right. I was just so started. And I think also just being in Southern California, there were so many people already in this space doing cool stuff. So I kind of started making connections with photographers and designers and planners out here that were doing cool stuff. And they saw what I was doing. So they wanted to send their stuff to me. I would just reach out. And as soon as I had like a wedding coming in, they're like, oh, I want you to share this. And it was just, there was back then, there was no Pinterest, there was no
Mm.
Instagram, there was no TikTok. I don't even know if there was
That's
Facebook.
so wild to
I
think
mean, it's
about.
just crazy. Like there
Yeah.
wasn't social media. So this was the chance for them to also like reach the audience that I was building up of couples who were planning their wedding. And yeah, so it's just a lot of it was like reaching out, finding like doing my own research, seeing who's doing cool stuff on photographer blogs or planner blogs, and then
Mhm.
starting to say, hey, send me your stuff and just making those connections.
Yeah, because I feel like when I think about green wedding shoes, it's always like, okay, what I'm gonna find the most unique, like
Yeah.
creative ideas on there for a wedding. And I love that's like what stands out about you guys versus like you said, style me pretty. You're getting a very like classic, traditional, still
Right.
beautiful.
And nothing wrong with that. That's perfect.
Right.
And
No.
that was already there. Like, I'm not going to copy something that's already there. I
Right.
wanted something different. I was looking for the couples that were looking for something a little bit more funky, a little
Mhm.
Yeah.
bit more
Out of the
bold. Like, trying, I
box.
mean, the name, a lot of people are like, why?
Yeah.
Why is it green wedding shoes? It's called green wedding shoes because I wore green wedding shoes for my wedding. And I know it doesn't sound crazy. We just did a post today about like how many, I was curious about how many couples are wearing shoes with a pop of color or white. But back then, you didn't wear, you wore white shoes. That was all you like
Mm.
to wear a different color shoe was crazy. So I kind of
Mhm.
was like, I wanted to be here. If you want to wear green wedding shoes, wear green wedding shoes. If you want to wear a pink dress, wear a pink dress. Like you can do whatever you
Yeah.
want. There are no rules. The only rule is to get married. Like,
Yeah.
you need the officiant, or apparently I learned in Colorado, you don't even need an officiant. You can marry yourself there, which I thought was a fun
Oh,
fact. But
Isn't like your
I did
dog
not know that.
can like sign your marriage license in
there's
Colorado?
something crazy. I don't know. I shouldn't like,
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly what
What?
it is, but there's something crazy like that. I know I've
Yeah, I mean,
chatted
you
with
should know. You do weddings in
I know. I don't
Colorado.
know this.
I
Oh my gosh.
swear I've seen like your dog can sign your marriage license in
something, they
Colorado.
have some kind of crazy rule in Colorado. I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, but yeah, like just it don't, there's no rules. Like
Yeah.
be,
I think
yeah.
you gave people permission, like without knowing that when you created this, I think you gave the
Hmm.
wedding industry permission to think outside the box. And now it's spiraled to like, oh my God, people are so creative with their weddings. And some trends were like, I don't know if we want to do that, but
Right, I know, yeah.
regardless, I think you were definitely a pioneer in that space. So thanks for doing that.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly like, yeah, I don't know if I knew that that's what we were doing back then. It was kind of like, it's okay. And like now it's like definitely like,
Mhm.
hey, it's okay. But I know people are doing all kinds of crazy things and it's just wild. But I mean, some of the stuff, just thinking about wow, one wedding, I don't know if you remember this wedding. This was probably like 10 years ago, but they were like, what do they call the people that walk on the ropes? They had that the tightrope.
Oh,
Um,
the slack line
Slacking, like
people.
slackline,
Yeah,
like they
yeah.
yeah.
slacked over like the Grand Canyon or something crazy.
Yes, I remember
And they
that.
had all their
Yeah.
guests, like even the father, the bride was like walking her, like they all had this huge, it was
Couldn't pay
insane.
me. Couldn't pay me.
No, I was like, I'm scared of heights. So I was like, this is
Yeah.
horrible. But it was
Yeah.
definitely something too, where like we kind of say the weddings that we love are the ones that stop you in your scroll, where you're like,
Yeah.
what's going on here? Whether it be a crazy, unique dress, or it's just location, or
Yeah.
some wild flowers, or the color palette. Like, I mean, I don't want to
Yeah.
get, I know we have others to talk about, but it's just, yeah, like that's the kind of stuff that we're looking for in those weddings that kind of like
Mhm.
feel GWS. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know you said when you started, none of these things existed, like Instagram, Pinterest, TikTok, all of that stuff. And so this might be more of a tough question, but what is sort of the biggest shift you've seen in wedding media since you launched? Because I mean, it's even like SEO, like, how social submissions, how people are submitting, like audience behavior, all of those kinds of things. I mean, I guess outside of traditional, like now what we know is like TikTok, Instagram, all of that stuff just seems like everyday use. Like, what for
Right.
you was sort of that biggest shift?
Yeah, I mean, like I mentioned before, just like when we started, there was no social media. People like literally typed in greenweddingshoes.com and like just checked out our site every day. And I remember too, like I would go and like had 5 or 6 blogs I'd go check out and say, ooh, what's their wedding today that they posted? I'd even get like emails or like message from like brides saying, hey, here's me this morning on my laptop checking out your site. Like that was just part of
Oh,
their morning routine, which was like the sweetest thing.
that's so
Um,
cool.
but yeah, now I mean, there's so many places where you can go and get inspiration. So I just feel like the way people find and experience GWS just completely has changed.
Mhm.
Now people could find us like on Pinterest or Instagram first and click through and find our site. Maybe they follow us by our newsletter. Maybe they just find us on Google. It's just kind of like the audience journey isn't linear
Mhm.
anymore. It's like it's everywhere. But like try to always remind couples that when you actually visit like the full feature on our site, that's how you're supporting publishers. So please come support us because it's definitely it's harder now because there's so many places where you can go and get all this information. But when you come and support the small businesses, like you're learning the whole team of, who designed this wedding. It's not so funny. Some people be like, oh, your wedding's so great. I'm like, no, 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 I'm just curating this. Like, here's the whole team. And there's actually like so many people that made this amazing event come together.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, like SEO has evolved. I mean, there's just more competition out there. There's just big retailers. So it's definitely hard, but it's kind of why like a trusted curated voice like GBS does really matter. Like we don't just aggregate the content, we curate it and champion, the talented people that we're focusing on. Um yeah, I guess like
Yeah.
platforms can really like change and stuff, but like trust and storytelling, I hope they never go out of style. Like that's why people
Mhm.
come to us and find us and love following us through all these different changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel like there was a point where you couldn't keep up with like the way things were changing, or was it always sort of
Oh my
exciting for
gosh. It's
you?
like, it's kind of like a mixed thing. I mean, one thing I like to tell people is it's a fun job because things are always changing, but sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, can't we just like keep it the same a little bit? Like every year there's something new where it's like, you got to do Pinterest, Insta. Like, I mean, now I feel like too, I don't know. I feel like for us too, it's like you can only be on so many social platforms.
Yeah.
So kind of take like the 2 or 3 that you think are doing the best for you and focus there. Like
Mhm.
for us, it's Pinterest and Instagram. I feel like are our two biggest and bring us the most traffic and just I feel like are the best and my favorites. Like we are on TikTok and stuff, but it's just TikTok is different than Instagram, so it's so hard to be on both. And there's so many great people doing really cool things there. And I'm like,
Mhm.
we're a very small team. I'm only one person. I love doing a lot of stuff, and I do have, we do have a team helping, but it's hard. There's so much. Like I wish I had a huge team helping, but
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
No, that's amazing to hear. And I'm happy to hear that Pinterest is still going strong because I used to be a Pinterest educator. And I believe, like, for wedding pros, Pinterest is such a powerful place to put their content because we are the audience is looking for visuals and what like of course Instagram, Pinterest, those are your main photo spots and
Right.
they drive traffic to the website. So that's exactly what the journey you want to take people in.
Right.
And with
Yeah,
that, yeah, go ahead.
so it's like Instagram's great. And like for Pinterest, I think some people, I know Instagram's like the pretty thing, the fun thing to be like, you're here, you have all these followers, but Pinterest, like, and you have the link right there. You can click. It's
Yeah.
so easy. Instagram doesn't make it quite as easy to click over there. So you can save and follow people and still find people. I know a lot of people book weddings there, but for vendors, I would just, and I know Pinterest, there's a lot of AI slap on there right now. I know it's very
Mm, yeah.
frustrated too. But there
Yep.
is still a lot of good stuff there. And people that are actually planning their weddings, we find our couples are on there planning, pinning stuff, saving it, looking for vendors that way. So, I mean, I definitely would encourage people not to give up on it. I still think it's definitely not as high traffic as was, like 5 years
Yeah.
ago, but I still feel like it's a good spot to be.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And
Agreed.
things are changing all the time. So who knows? Like in a couple of months, it could be amazing again.
Yeah, it
Like,
could resurge. Yeah, in
It's
I
true.
popularity.
I don't know.
Yeah. And out of all the types of posts that you guys are putting out there, so obviously you have like actual real wedding features, you have maybe how-tos, planning guides, vendor spotlights. What are the ones that are performing the best right now and why?
Yeah, that's a great question. We have because we do all those different types of posts. I'd say, oh my gosh, I mean, people want help like planning stuff. So like how-to guides,
Hmm.
evergreen content that's like if we're helping people find here's 30 white dresses that could work for your bridal shower or something like that. That kind of stuff where you're curating content like that could be great. How to plan a wedding, just like a basic thing with a bunch of steps, that kind of thing does really well. Real weddings also do really well if they have a unique. I feel like a lot of people too like coming to the site and reading the story. I've gotten so many
Hmm.
messages from
Hmm.
people just saying they love still reading the story, even though everyone's in this fast world on Instagram and TikTok, just really, really fast stuff. And people do love coming over and like we take the time. Our real wedding editor is amazing. She like gathers the story from the couple and I like reading too of like how the couple, met, like their fun story, like what they were inspired for their wedding. Some people have the craziest ideas for their wedding where they get inspiration from, and it's so just unique and fun, or how they found their dress. I mean, we'll hear all these stories where it's just inspiring, like, okay, they didn't just go to one shop, they found this, or they went to some
Hmm.
vintage shop, or they were inspired by this. They couldn't find the right dress they wanted, so they found a designer who helped curate, like make the dress
Hmm.
that they wanted. Just all kinds of fun stories like that. So those real weddings do really well also. Yeah, I like trend pieces too do really well. I mean, we don't want to do
True.
like I think you'd asked about like is it more like evergreen trend or what kind of post? Like it is trend. I try, like I know sometimes people too on Instagram are like, oh, trends, but it's like that's what people love and that's what people click on
Yeah.
the trends. They want to know what they are, and people do come to us for the trends. I feel like we see so many weddings, like we're looking at hundreds of weddings each week, so we're seeing which trends are becoming popular, what's like becoming big now, what's still big that people are like, oh, it's over. I'm like, no, it's not over. People are still doing this trend, just maybe a new twist on it.
Yeah.
So that stuff still does really well for us.
Yeah.
Jen, how many submissions do you get a week from people to have their wedding posted on Green Wedding
Gosh,
Shoes?
it's like hundreds. So I would say, I mean, at one point it was like a couple of years ago, we were getting like almost like 1,000 a week, which is crazy.
Oh
So it's
my
definitely gone down.
gosh.
I think people too, a lot of times people, I'm like, why don't I find someone who submitted, like, why don't you submit? They're like, oh, it's too much work. I don't have time. And like, I know there's so many places too now to like show and share your work, but like getting featured on a site who like, we only take about maybe 3 to 5% of our submissions. So if you can get through there and get on this, like site a handpicked like submission that's not you don't have to pay for your submission. I know some sites are charging you. We don't take, I feel like maybe it would be nice. It would be nice to make some money that way, but no, we're not. It's just, what we think is the best of the best that were submitted or that we found out there. Um,
I mean, I feel honored. I've been published a few times on your site. But man, if you were getting 1,000 a week, like
Wow.
that's a lot to
like
sift
yeah,
through.
and I know
And
some people are just like, oh my gosh, you never. I'm like, there's a lot in there. Like, yeah. So I'm kind of glad we're not that much anymore. But and I will
Right.
say,
yeah.
too, I don't know when this is coming out, but for vendors that are listening to this, like submit your weddings now from the past year. because
Mhm.
I always like tell people January through April on the site is like our high time. Like so that's when people who have gotten
Yeah.
engaged like last fall over the Christmas, like a lot of people kind of I feel like over the holidays take a break, kind of relax. But then
Hmm.
when January comes, I'm sure you guys see it too with vendors, but like okay, it's time to plan. We got to figure out what we're doing. Like they get on, so they're on the sites looking for vendors, looking for ideas. So if you have a submission, like submit December, January, February, get those submissions in because that's a great time to get featured.
That's a great
Yeah.
tip.
What out of all of those, like sifting through 100 plus a week, what for you? I mean, I'm sure you have like a good process down, but what for you is sort of like an instant yes when you see a submission?
Well, I will say too, the way we accept submissions too, we're always ask people for like a headline, like give us a quick little headline of like why. So sometimes the headline will really like, sometimes people really try. I can tell they're like, I don't care if they use AI, whatever to help to get them with this headline, but it's definitely grabs my attention. So that does help you sometimes get higher up in the queue when I'm looking through and I'm like, what do I want to look at? I'm like, ooh, what's this? Like, it'll be just, I'm trying to think of like, I don't know, Baz Luhrmann inspired vintage Romeo and Juliet wedding with a
Oh,
pink wedding
cool.
dress or something. I'm like,
Hmm.
ooh, I got to see that. Like, I mean, like, okay, I'll click on that. And then when like looking through something, this is another tip I've shared a couple times with people because sometimes, and I feel like a lot of wedding publications are like this. We're looking for, and I always say, look at their guidelines. Everyone's different, but we're looking for like between I don't know, 80 to 200 photos for a real
Hmm.
wedding. Don't
Hmm.
send us 1,000 photos. Don't send us the first, if
Right.
the first 100 photos are the getting ready and the bridal suite getting ready. I'm bored. I looked
Yeah.
through 100 photos of like, no, put your first wow, your scroll stopping photos should be either if it's like your pixie set gallery or whatever your gallery is, that image, have that be the wow image, or the first image be the wow image. Get me excited and like, oh, I got to see more.
Hmm.
Like I feel like so many people just miss the opportunity to when you're starting off with just, bridal party getting ready, groom getting ready, that's not the most exciting. We do love sharing one or two of those photos in like a real wedding feature, so keep them, but we don't need 100. Like,
Yeah.
please curate your submission a little bit. Like,
That's
Yeah.
a great tip. I think
Yeah,
people
for sure.
do dump, like, a spray and pray situation for some of
yeah.
these
And I get it.
things.
Sometimes people don't know what they're doing, or they're
Right.
just like, I don't know, I just send it, like, whatever. And
Mhm.
sometimes it kind of depends too. It's like, but I'm looking through like 50 weddings right now, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, is there something good here? Is it worth it? I don't know. I'll just go somewhere else, go to the next one. Like, you don't
Yeah,
want that to happen to your wedding that you spent all this time on. Like, show me the good stuff first, and then, I don't know. So,
that's a great tip for vendors when they're submitting.
yeah.
Sorry, pause really quick.
That's okay.
I accidentally closed the link to the
Yeah.
notes and I've been panicking trying to find it again. So,
I was like looking to Gabby, like, do
one
you want to take this?
moment, please. I have it. Okay, I have it. I have it. Okay.
I think number six, Gabby.
Yes. Okay. Okay, Jen, what is your take on AI with blogging? So, like, we've talked in the past with some SEO experts about how people are really popping up in ChatGPT searches for when they're searching for vendors like best wedding planner in Nashville. And now vendors are popping up. Um, I guess, how do you use it on your site, or how do you use it for to help? Do you use it to help write blog posts, SEO descriptions? Like, how does that work for you guys?
I will say on that little story, someone had messaged me I don't know, a couple months ago saying, "Oh, ChatGPT told me to follow you or something." And I'm like, "Wait, what?" I'm like, I was so confused. I'm like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "Where?" I'm like, I was just so confused. But I guess she had put in a chat like, "What wedding blogs or publications do you think I should follow?" or something like that. And we popped up. I was like, "Oh, that's so cool!" Like, I still need to figure out. I'm not sure exactly how that happened. I love that, but I do love that part about it.
Yeah.
We kind of use AI as like a creative collaborator, collaborator, kind of like helping with like research, like some of our workflows, some like SEO, like writing meta description. Like I don't want to write
Mhm.
meta
Oh,
description, like stuff
hate
that's
that.
like so, yeah. Um, I mean, I feel like it can definitely help, but like help give you some bones of like structure and that kind of stuff, but not
Mhm.
like I don't know. It just can't replicate like emotion, taste, like all that kind of stuff, which is I feel like with what we have. So yeah, we'd use it for some of that kind of stuff. like I call it like the boring stuff that I don't want to do. That's we actually were even like I know Jason, my husband, who does a lot of stuff too, is very like big on trying to figure out like how we can use it from our processes, like that kind of boring back. I call it the boring stuff. I'm like the creative side of
Yeah.
the site. He does
It's
like
a
all
good
the tech.
balance.
Yes,
Yeah.
which is really good because I feel like sometimes too when I meet like photographer couples that are both creative, I'm like, how do you guys work together? Like at least we work together because I feel like we're kind of different. We come from different sides of seeing something, so I think it's a good balance. But I don't know, two creative people, I don't know how you get anything
It
done,
would
like
be,
business side.
yeah, it would
You're like,
be
who's actually running the business, like the back
right.
end business things?
Right. But he's working. We actually just launched something a couple months ago, a wedding speech app. We're kind of like helping couples because I feel like a lot of the tricky thing too I found with like AI is like how to write prompts. There is a like an art form in like writing a good prompt. Like you could
Hmm.
say, give me a wedding speech for my friends. Here's a story. And it will give
Right.
you a speech, but it won't sound like you. It's going to sound like ChatGPT wrote it. So this wedding speech app like has all the questions like to make it basically it's like sounding like you but better. Like it's kind of like having a speechwriter helped you write the speech. I don't know, it's really cool. I feel like I'm definitely not a speechwriter person, so I feel like I tried it out with a couple of things, putting in some fake stories and stuff, and it came out pretty cool. Something I would say, but way better. So that is one thing that we've used it for.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. Um,
And
but
actually, I've had a lot of wedding, like best man, maid of honor speeches this year use Chat GPT, like a handful of them. And I actually did think in general, their speech was pretty funny. But like you kind of said earlier, to anything, you do have to verify its work and make sure that it sounds like how you would continue to write all your previous blog
right.
would have written your previous blog posts.
Right. It's just, yeah, it's a little tricky. And sometimes too, when I don't know, I've had a lot like putting stuff in there. I feel like I've gotten a lot of not correct stuff coming out of there.
Yes.
So I
Yeah.
would just be like, still makes me kind of nervous about using that kind of stuff. But for just like some basic research is kind of like a high level. I feel like that's good. If it takes your post and kind of here's the meta, like the SEO, I'm not an SEO
Yeah.
expert. So if it can help me with SEO, amazing. I love that.
For sure.
Anything to help on that is awesome. Like I feel like that's a great way to use it. But we'll see. I know like some people are using it for planning. I guess like couples are starting to use it for planning. I don't know. My thoughts are on that. Like we'll see. I
Ooh,
can,
that should Carrie and I could probably have a full-on
you guys can chat
mini-sode.
about that. What do you think about that? Yeah, 'cause I'm
Yeah.
sure this stuff.
Oh
I don't
yeah.
know. I mean, here's another thing. So a lot of times too, when you're typing in a chat GPT, the stuff that they're saying, like, how do you, I'm trying to think of something. What are some great songs I should use for Mother the Bride Dance? Wait, is that it? Father the Bride Dance. Father Bride
Father,
Dance.
daughter.
No,
Yeah.
Father Daughter
Yeah.
Dance. Yeah, I'm like, what's what I'm looking for? And you go in there, it'll tell you, and but it's getting all the information from a post we wrote, or a post the knot wrote,
Right.
or a post
Mm-hmm.
brides wrote. It's
Right.
stealing,
100%.
like it's stealing because it's taking information. So you just see that when you type it in, and you don't come to our site when we've gone through and like we've gotten our content because not interview, I put out like a poll on stories and like ask couples. All the couples that send us their weddings, they'll tell us the stories. So we have like the real data of what people are using,
Yeah.
or just what people think would be fun, but they're just grabbing it. And so it's kind of just, I don't know.
Hmm. Yeah.
I don't love,
Regurgitating what's already been
yeah,
released out
That's on
there.
the
Yeah.
web. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
for
But you're not
sure.
coming to our site and we're not getting the credit. Or you'll see us like getting the credit, like they
Yeah.
got all this information from these sites, but you're never going to go there. And if you don't come to our site, then we're not
Yeah.
making any money.
That's
And
true.
Yeah.
That's
so
true.
it's just that kind of stuff is very like harmful to publications. So that's
Mhm.
yeah, I don't love that part about it, but
Yeah, it
got to
is
figure out.
tricky. Yeah, I know Gabby and I are probably like a lot of thoughts about what, yeah, I guess just
It'd be a
AI
whole
kind
nother
of taking
conversation, I feel
over.
like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
AI taking over a lot of different things and how that's like different, I guess, trends for us and how we have to adapt to that and find
Yeah.
ways around it.
Right. And I've seen some cool things where you can do like AI. I've seen some designers use here's how your space could look, which is kind of like a
Hmm.
cool way to use that to get an idea of
Love
what it
that.
could look like. But then the people, I mean, I have very mixed thoughts on the people who are like, here's a cool idea, but it's totally not like real. It's
Feasible.
not
Yeah.
not doable. And they post it and people think it is real and it's not. And they're
My chat GPT cannot put together a photo. If I ask her to like put together a photo, like a design of some sort, it's like horrible. You know,
Mhm.
It's
it's
so
done
obvious.
by AI, and there's like things that don't make sense in it. So I can't get over
Yeah,
that hump of like, how does this photo even look normal? But
right. Right.
yeah. So Jen, kind of switching to trends in the industry from your design background perspective and just like everything you see on a weekly basis, I'd love to know what are some 2025 trends or even from the last couple of years that you love, and then some trends that you would happily sunset that
Yeah.
have kind of been in the rotation the last couple of years.
Yeah. And I mean, first, like before, I don't know if couples will listen to this or not, but I always say, like, whatever, do what you want.
Right.
If you use a trend,
Hmm.
cool. If you use a trend that's over, who cares? It's your wedding. Like,
Yeah.
do what you want. Like, this is all for fun. But trends that I'm loving right now, I'm loving like the like micro luxury experiences, like the smaller guest list, but kind of just more elevated everything.
Hmm.
When you have a
Hmm.
smaller guest list, obviously you can just spend more money on each guest there, doing just, making it more because that gives you the opportunity to do those cool design elements, which I personally love to see and love at weddings I go to. Um, I love kind of like the bold colors that I'm seeing now. Like well, I don't know. I will say in the weddings we get, I'll probably look at like 100 weddings, and most of them are kind of very white, greens, kind of that kind of color. But when I see something with like a bold color, like someone took the like chartreuse, I'm seeing a lot of that lately, which I am loving.
I love chartreuse and
Yeah.
brown.
Ooh,
I'm
brown, yes.
loving
I know brown is
brown.
kind of like we were saying, it's going to be a big color this year, which I'm loving because I feel like it is kind of like the
Love
new
it.
black. Like it's just a little bit more
Yes.
elevated, and I feel like it feels very warm and like cozy, and
Yes.
you can mix it with other colors, and so I
For
love that
sure.
too. Statement florals, I love couples who let the florist kind of do their own thing, and we're just
Yeah.
seeing so many cool, just whether it be like with the aisle, like just cool aisle
Hmm.
displays. If it's with the ceremony decor, bouquets. I of course love the bouquet purse trend. I know we shared a couple of things on that have gone
Yeah.
viral over on Instagram.
Yeah.
But I love that trend. And apparently this was big in the 90s. I didn't know, but it's back.
I didn't
So
know that
Oh, I
either.
didn't know that
as a couple
either.
people told me in the comments, I'm like, oh, I don't remember this, but I'm like,
Huh.
okay. I wasn't really paying attention, I guess, in the 90s
Yeah.
to wedding trends.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of most of them have taken it in a new way, like
Yeah.
maybe I think what was back then, which I love, like taking an old trend but kind of putting a new twist on it. So I love that too, like mixing up fruit and other random weird
Hmm.
things. And with,
Yeah.
I don't know, I love that. I know some people are kind of like, oh, you're wasting food, but I don't know, it's fun.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
do like the
I love
fruit
that.
one.
Yeah,
Are there any that you don't love?
don't love. I
Or
always
just
hate
happy to
saying it,
say goodbye for
but yeah,
now, you
Yeah.
I would
know?
just say like anything that just feels like overly curated, like just too perfect, like just
Mm.
like
Mm.
sometimes some weddings I look at, I'm like, it just felt like it was almost designed for Instagram. Like it just everything feels
Mm,
too perfect, and it's just like it
Yeah.
also feels like something that maybe would have been like popular, like new and fresh a year or two ago, but just feels I don't know. So just anything that's
Done.
like too perfect, I feel like people
Yeah.
will just I'm craving realness and like just more realness, not perfection. I feel like a lot of
Mhm.
couples today are kind of feeling that vibe too. Um, yeah, I'm trying to think of anything
that's
else.
fair.
So yeah,
No, that's
I don't
great.
know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Switching to some celeb stuff. So, what is your take on celebrity moments? Whether it's, it could be some of the engagements you guys have posted. You've also posted weddings. Specifically, maybe just give us your thoughts on Taylor Swift's engagement because Carrie and I had a whole episode on like how
I actually listened to the episode and you
did
guys aren't
you?
Swifties. I'm like, what? I'm a
Okay.
Swiftie, so I'm like, okay, but yeah,
I
Okay.
know we knew we were gonna offend a lot of people,
no,
but
I'm not offended
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I,
But mostly because we were like, her decision on what she does with her wedding could change the game for wedding trends moving forward. And we were really nervous. Like, what if she just does a quick elopement in the backyard and doesn't hire a dang wedding
Right.
vendor at all? And like, what does that mean for the Swifties moving forward? So, what are your thoughts on that? Or maybe even like Selena's latest wedding? I actually thought hers was really beautiful.
Because
Yeah,
I
I
was
thought,
gonna
yeah.
say really quick, this morning I actually saw an article about Selena's wedding and how that's gonna change like so many upcoming trends. I didn't get to fully dive
Huh.
into it, but I just thought that was interesting of like her wedding happened and then there's also Taylor's, pending
Yeah.
nuptials and
I
just
wonder
what your
which
thoughts
trends
are.
there. Wonder which trends from her wedding because I did see like the halter dress. People were talking like the halter styles
Mm-hmm.
back. But I mean, I thought her wedding was beautiful, but I don't
Yeah,
feel like I noticed like any. But she didn't share a lot of like actual details. I just saw like the
Yeah,
fashion, like her
that's
dresses,
true.
which I
yeah.
do feel like more people are doing like two or three different dresses, and I feel like that's become more popular, maybe from celebrities, but maybe I feel like a lot of just normal couples are doing that too.
Hmm.
Um, I do think, I mean, I've heard a lot from like Taylor's proposal that more garden proposals are happening now. I don't know
Mm,
if it's really true or not, but I mean, it was super pretty. So I could see that definitely being something. I will just say, and I'm like a newer Swiftie. I'm just like the Evermore Folklore, like 2020 Swiftie. Like, so I don't go back the whole way, but there's some girls on my team who have been Swifties forever. And I was just shocked that she actually shared something. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I thought she's going to keep this private.
yeah.
And she's like, oh no, she used to share all this stuff. This is so her. Like, she's going to share everything. I'm like, really? Like, I just thought she would keep more stuff private. But so
That's what we were saying too. We were like,
Yeah.
she's a pretty private person from what
I
we
was
know.
honestly, when that came out that day, I was shocked. I was like, oh my gosh, is this real? Like, I thought it was AI. It's like
Yeah.
there's so many things on there. Where you're just like, I'm like, wait, no, it's her account. It's real. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. So I don't, yeah, and I've been trying to find out like from any of my connections of what is going on, what she's doing, but I feel like it's pretty hush hush. And if anything's out there, I feel like it's just a rumor.
Hmm.
But I don't know. I was thinking she was going to do something kind of very small, but I don't think from her recent interviews, I don't
Yes.
think she's
I was
going
just
to. It
gonna say
sounds like
that
she wants a
we
big party. So
Yes.
yeah, we saw an
I'm down
interview
for
that
that.
she was like, "You're invited." I forget who it was. That was
Oh yeah, it was like it's like a BBC host or I don't know, someone like a
yeah.
British host or something, just saying
Yeah,
invite
and
me.
she
Like,
was
wait,
like,
am I
"Yeah, you're
really?
on the list." And so yeah, I feel like it will be a big thing, but it feels very hush
They
hush, like we
both
don't know
feel
what's
Hmm.
going
like
on.
kind of party people, so I could
Yeah.
see
Yeah.
this being like a big party, like feeling those kind of vibes. I
And we
don't
were
know.
saying it has to be during his off season, right? Like
I
he's
feel
not
like it
going to
has to
get,
be next spring or early summer.
yeah,
That's like the time. I mean, even if he plans to retire, like I still feel like she's going to want to get out probably and tour, do something else, or
right.
Mhm.
I don't know. Now who knows
Who
what she's gonna
knows?
do. But yeah, I do feel like probably I don't think she wants to wait too long though. So I do feel like
Right.
next late spring, early summer. I don't know if she should see what Mindy Weiss is doing. I feel
Yeah,
like
I wondered that too.
or who did wait, no, Selena used Mindy. So I mean
Yeah.
they're friends, so I could
Yeah.
see,
Mhm.
yeah. But I do think, I mean, I do like, so Sophia Richie had the quiet luxury, that was super popular. So I
Mhm.
feel like whatever she does, it will be trending, I'm sure. I'm sure some couples either will just, hopefully just inspire, like, kind of
Yeah.
whatever she does, kind of do their own thing. I know some people are like, I don't care what they do, which is fine. You should do whatever you want, but it's still fun. I mean, whenever we share anything celeb wise on the site, it does amazing, but I think people just because they feel like they know that person, so they feel more connected versus, okay, I want to go see what did her wedding look like. I've followed her for so long, or I know what she does.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Might not take it into my own wedding, but it's fun to see like, oh, wait, she's doing a cool tile dance floor. Maybe I want to do that. Or
Totally.
yeah, I'm trying to think of what else Selena did that was kind of cool or unique for hers, but I know she has some other fun stuff.
Yeah, it's just fun to use it as inspiration or also just for us as the wedding vendors to see how this could change what we're
Right.
going to want to design or what we're going to get asked and what the Pinterest boards are going to look like when they present us their ideas. Because we might see, like, oh, yeah, this is very Sophia Richie. This is very Taylor. This is very. So finding
Right.
those kind of celeb personalities within our designs is something we just have to think about.
I think too, when you're like Selena, you have all that money and you can hire the best of the best and do whatever you want. Just kind of see like what did she pick, and that's kind of just
Right.
fun to see. Like, okay, like she's got great taste. What did she use? Who did she like? How did she put her whole day together? It's just kind of inspiring.
Yeah,
So why not take some inspiration from there from someone who's doing something similar?
very
Um,
true.
But yeah, so I mean, even Taylor's engagement ring, I forget now what the style was, but I've been seeing so many articles and so many press releases about how that search for those type of elongated mine cut diamond was that
Yeah,
what it was?
yeah. Like,
Yeah,
I don't remember
that's
now,
br
fascinating.
yeah,
but that was
old
like took
something
off the
minecart.
old yeah, trying it's
Yeah.
yeah, forgetting right now. But
Yeah.
whatever that was, it's totally taken off and like that's like the most popular like stone cut right now for
Hmm.
engagement rings. So that's kind of crazy that that wasn't even up in like our top 10 list before and now it's
Yeah.
so using that data, like, I mean, yeah, whatever kind of dress she picks, I mean, I hope it's
Oh
something
my
fun.
gosh.
Yeah.
But also, like, so much pressure on her. That's wild that she's
Yeah.
going to decide the future of many other people's wedding designs. That's so much pressure. What if people, I don't know, that's too much.
Do you
Like,
think she
never.
actually feels that though? Maybe
I don't
she's not even
know.
like really aware. I mean, I know she's aware, but like
Yeah.
maybe that's not a thought process for her.
Because she, in one of the interviews too, I feel like she said something like, I haven't really thought about like my wedding or any of this stuff before. I'm like, really? Like, I mean, it's just, I feel like maybe she's at the age and she's been to a bunch of other friends' weddings
Yeah.
and she's kind of
Right.
saying that she wants to get married. So I'm kind of surprised she hasn't ever thought about any of that stuff.
Yeah.
But if not, I'm like, if you need somewhere to come, Taylor, green wedding shoes, somewhere will
100%.
hope to inspire you. Um,
Man.
but
I hope
yeah.
she does. I hope she does
Yeah.
come get some inspo.
Oh my
So
gosh.
Jen, before we kind of dive in, we're curious to know some things about like the growth of green wedding shoes, where you see yourself. But I am curious to know, do you have one or two weddings that like stand out in your mind as like one of the coolest things you've seen in your career that was submitted to you?
Ooh. I
I know
mean
this was kind of off the cuff, but I just
yeah,
thought about it.
that wedding that I was telling you about with
Hmm.
the ropes over. I mean, that
Oh
was
yeah.
kind of crazy. Like, just that one went viral too, like on Instagram. Like,
Oh,
just
yeah.
people like, what is this? I feel like another thing that was kind of fun and exciting for us. I don't even know now what year this was. Maybe like 2010. I don't. Basically, the idea of like a adventure elopement was kind
Hmm.
of something we had been one of the first to kind of share that whole idea that you could go get married wherever, wear whatever you want,
Yeah.
bring some friends if you want, or just do it for yourselves, do a party later. And that idea of doing your elopement wherever, I feel like that was, we had one wedding where the couple, it was somewhere up in Oregon. Benj Hayes shot it like, and it
Hmm.
just went viral. The girl wore a Free People dress. And the funniest thing was, she now works at a coffee shop in Tahoe. And I was in Tahoe last summer and I Instagrammed like, oh, love this coffee from this coffee shop. And she's like, I don't know if you remember me, but I'm the girl from that Free People dress wedding that went viral.
No.
She's like, my husband, and like, so it's fun to hear, like, okay, cool. There's first of all, they're still together, yay.
Okay, good.
Nice.
Because it's sad when you're like, but yeah, and just she's like, I wanted to let you know, like, she still gets recognized out on the street. This was like at least 10 years ago, maybe
Oh my
15 years ago,
gosh.
Wow. I need
probably
to
like
look
12 or
this up.
13 years ago, that she gets recognized from that wedding because it was pinned so many times, and so. Like when I look at it now, I thought it was so crazy. It doesn't seem very crazy now just because of all the crazy things we've seen. But
Right.
Yeah.
I think it was like Snake Rattle Ranch Ridge or something. I don't know. It was like had a really cool shot. Like they were off the cliffs of this rock, like
Mhm.
up, like a really cool shot there.
I'm
Um,
trying to find
so
it.
that was just kind of really fun to hear that she was still spotted from that wedding so many years
That's
ago.
crazy.
And
Yeah.
obviously
Wow.
she looks different, and just people were still like recognizing her. We also shared a wedding a couple years ago at an active volcano in Iceland. And the couple
Oh,
was
I
like,
think I
it was
remember that. Oh my.
safe. She was like, because I was like, first of all, anytime we get something like that, I'm like, please tell me this is safe. I don't want to
Yeah.
ever share anything that's not safe,
Yeah.
also not legal.
Right.
Were you allowed to be there? And like, so they were. It was something where Iceland had this volcano. It was going off all the time and you could walk by. And they just kind of got lucky that when they were going by, that it actually was like
I
coming up, like
Right.
remember this.
it looked because the photos looked really cool. I was like one of those things too where I'm like, is this real? Is it real?
Right.
Is it safe? Because I know people in the comments are gonna be like, this is not safe, but it was, and it was really cool. And that was just something totally different. And there's just like this couple just wanted to go. I I think they got married there and then did like a party with their friends back home. Because I know a lot of times people are like, oh, I want to do the party too. You can do
Yeah.
both. You can
Yeah.
do both.
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
yeah.
Well,
But
okay, wait. That brought me up to a question. I know we talked about AI earlier. Do you guys have a way to tell
I
if
was actually
photos
what you're gonna
are
say.
like have been
No, I don't. I was just thinking that I'm like, what if someone sends me something that's totally fake and I don't even know? Like, I don't like, I don't know if there is. Maybe I have to ask Jason.
Right.
Is there a way to tell? Like, is there,
Surely there's
I
going to
don't
be
know.
some software out there that can spot it,
I
but
just feel like
like,
someone's going to try to send something crazy and get it by and be like, oh, haha.
yes.
Yeah. Well, because I was looking for inspiration, makeup inspiration for a client recently, and we sent it to our makeup artist, and she was like, all of those are AI. And I was like,
I've heard
really?
a
Like
lot of
How do you
of
yeah,
makeup and hair stuff on Pinterest is fake because
what?
I read something about that, or maybe something like 2 or 3 months ago. I looked and I'm like, a lot of these photos do look kind of fake when I'm looking up for like hair and makeup ideas.
if I like really study some of them I can really tell because they
Yeah.
look very like
I feel like once you look and you see
perfect
there's a lot
skin.
that look kind of similar, then you can kind of like if you're just looking at one photo, like I don't think you would notice. But when you
Right.
start comparing a bunch, you're like, wait a minute.
But when she was like, "Oh, I instantly knew these were all AI," I was like, "Oh, I mean, obviously it's her craft. She like
Right,
can
yeah.
tell." But I was just like, "Dang
Yeah.
it!" Like,
How? Yeah.
so it is hard to know the difference.
I wonder
Yeah.
if there's going to be a new job position in some companies that's literally going to be like AI fraud person, like where
Right.
things go through them and they have an eye, like like really well-trained photographers even that would go through a person. I guess this is if like some software didn't exist, but like to do and say, no, this. Obviously, when
Right.
there's like 10 fingers on one hand,
Right. Yeah. I can,
we
yeah.
know, but
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Gabby
Yeah.
and I often try to have ChatGPT like make a fun post and we like give them a photo and our faces look horrible,
And
like
you're
nothing
like,
like
no.
so I don't know how to
Yeah.
get past that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Um, okay, fun. Well, so to kind of wrap things up here, what would you say, Jen, was one of the most pivotal decisions you made that helped grow Green Wedding Shoes like the most, whether it was in the hiring or did you pursue a certain keyword or was something that like you guys are still going strong?
Yeah, I mean, I always think like the first thing is just starting. Like, just I had the idea for a while and it was like just a side gig for a while and just like kind of doing it as much as I could. But then, like, once like making it my full-time gig, I feel like that was a big decision. And then, like, also just jumping on any new platform that came, whether it's
Mm,
Pinterest, Instagram, like jumping on right away. Like, Pinterest, we jumped on very early, which I think helped us just become we've have tons of followers there. Like I know followers don't really matter anymore there, but still like it does in some way. Just Instagram, like getting on there, even though I remember like back in the day, I was like, what do I post on here? It was like, here's my coffee cup, and here,
yeah.
it's just doing random stuff. And then I'm like,
Yeah.
oh wait, I should be promoting like the work we have on there. Like
Yeah.
just trying to figure stuff out and like jumping on, and like you're saying, like there's so many changes and just adapting, like every year adapting, like just figuring out what is the new thing. Um, Also like partnering the right brands we haven't really talked about, but we've had like some brand
Mhm.
partnerships where we'll have like products. That's kind of another way we are able to make money and just keep going and like having the right partnerships, knowing who to say yes to and who to say no to. Um,
Smart.
but yeah, I guess
I
that,
love
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
And do you feel like there are a lot of, I guess, with that, like kind of protecting your creative vision of green wedding shoes? Do you feel like there's a lot of partnerships or submissions you say no to, even though you like maybe want to a little bit, but it just like doesn't feel right for your goals for green wedding shoes?
Right. There are some, I wouldn't say like huge, like maybe it's just like a sponsor post for a brand that just doesn't feel on brand,
Mhm.
Hmm.
where like it's not like a huge partnership, but it
Sure.
would obviously be nice to have the money. But I'm like, I don't feel like that's right. And it's just like one of those things having the site and the brand, it's like I have like the followers' trust and like loyalty. And like
Yeah.
once you lose that, it's like it's over. So I
Yeah.
feel like it had to be
Yeah.
very important about who we do say yes to. So I feel like we've been pretty lucky so far and pretty good. But there's definitely been times where people come in. My husband's like, who does more of the money side, like, are you sure? I'm like, I don't think that's the right fit. He's like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, something else. And I feel like it always something else better comes along. So it's always been right.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
sometimes it is hard where you're like, I don't know, would
Totally.
we have that? But I'm like, that's not like how I see our vision or who we should be branding with right now or aligning with right now.
Yeah.
I love that you're staying true to the brand. It's easy for businesses to sell. Like you could sell to somebody and just be like,
Right.
well, wherever it goes, it goes. I'm out,
Right.
you know?
Yeah. And I mean, I
So
will say people have reached out and I'm kind of like,
yeah,
but I'm like, I don't know. Like, that's my
not
baby. Like,
yet.
I'm not
Yeah.
ready. Like, yeah. Cause I know some
There you
other
go.
of the OG blogs have done that. And it's just kind
Hmm.
of like, once it happens, it kind of, I don't know, I feel like it's not the same. So
Hmm.
Sure.
I'm hoping we can just keep it going for a while longer. And I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
my girls will want to like run, my daughters
Run
will want
it.
they run it. Yeah, I don't know. They're very good
Yeah.
at like social media stuff, so maybe you'll bring them on the team at some point.
Yeah.
There you go. Back in the day, they used to pass farms on to
I
the
know. It
other
was
generations. Now it's
Like
wedding
weird.
passing on
blogs.
blogs.
Blocks.
And Jen,
So
what are
mhm.
your goals for Green Wedding Shoes kind of over the next like year or two? Like, what are some of your big goals?
Um, yeah, we have some big, I guess more stuff with community, just kind of bringing that together. Do have a couple other bigger goals that I can't really share yet, but hoping that they happen. Just kind of, yeah, continuing the brand, just kind of, like you said, just like moving with the times as the time are changing and just kind of figuring out where we can connect with our audience and where they want to be and how we can be there too. Um,
That.
yeah.
Yeah, I love
Oh,
that.
I loved this conversation so much. Like thanks for being honest and for it felt like we're just chatting with a friend. Um, that's what these are about. So I hope this was
Yeah.
as enjoyable for you as
Yeah,
it
no, I
was
had
for
this whole
us.
outline of stuff, but I feel like I didn't really need to use it, which is always good. Like it's nice
Good.
to have and be safe and like, okay, but it's nice to just, yeah, just chat and we all
Well,
know
Ugh,
this world and
I
live
think it's
and
such a
yeah.
good conversation because I think even a lot of, vendors in the industry now are like, are blogs still worth it? Are they good?
yeah.
Like, how do we do
Well,
submissions still? Like, and I
yes,
feel like
and
you
just
gave some great tips for
sorry,
that
quick
too.
Mhm.
jumping into that. Yes, they are still like worth your time.
Mhm.
Like,
Hmm.
I mean, there are still people I know you mentioned about that feature you had from back in 2017 who's still getting traffic, but there are lots of people who are getting featured today who are still getting traffic
Yeah.
or are getting traffic. And it's just like a nice, like, you're getting the SEO juice,
Yeah.
you're getting the trust from a brand. Like, please continue to submit. Like, there's so many places people can find you, but yes, keep
Yeah.
submitting. Like, we would love to
Yeah.
feature your work and it's still worth it. And yes.
And I
I
think
love that.
sometimes it still feels intimidating. Like even if
Hmm.
there's new vendors on the market that are like, gosh, I don't know. Green Wedding Shoes is such a big blog. I don't even know how to get in. I think you gave some great actionable tips too on like make sure your title is really eye-catching because Jen will be scrolling. You need to get
Yeah.
her to stop to scroll. I think I'm gonna write in my next one like, Jen,
Not the scroll. Just,
stop scrolling.
I probably will look at it. Yeah.
But no, I think it's like you said, you're giving everybody a chance. There are less submissions than there were a few years ago. So this gives people even a bigger opportunity to get in now and to do it in the next few months before the bulk of the views of people going on the website is happening. Like this is giving everyone such a great opportunity. And I
Yeah.
love that.
And we are looking for all types of weddings, weddings that are 20K and weddings that
Yeah.
are a million. Like we share all types. So I don't anyone
Yeah.
think like, oh, my
Love that.
weddings do. Like our readers love being inspired by it. Doesn't matter on the budget. I mean, obviously, if you have $1 million, usually they're amazing. But I've also seen $1 million weddings that are not inspiring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just don't let that be something that stops it either. And you never know. I always feel like you never know like what we're looking for at that moment. Like, who
Hmm.
It's
knows?
true. It's true. No, and actually that just made me think. I posted something recently about a couple. They had a very small budget, but they did a beautiful hand painted plate that had their wedding date and they cooked it, or when you put
Oh,
it
like
like
yeah,
Like a
glazed it
kiln.
or
Yeah.
filmed it,
yeah, kiln, yeah.
yeah.
And it was
They
their
cooked
cake.
it.
They cooked it. And it was their cake plate. And this post,
That's
I've
cute.
shown like incredible, I feel incredible things on Instagram. And this is the one that people couldn't get over. It's just a photo of this cake plate with a piece of cake on it and like a champagne glass. And people are going crazy for this post because what I realized is I think very, very personalized items are very trendy right now. Like people love these thoughtful little
Mhm.
elements. And so I think this was giving people, other couples, good ideas for their own wedding. And so there were a lot of shares, a lot of
Yes.
like, hey, look at
Yeah.
this. This is so cute. We should do one of these type of thing.
That reminds me of something we shared. I made a note, but we didn't get to it. But like things we shared. Maybe it was 2 years ago, but it was this idea where the couple, I feel more people have done this recently, but you leave like a personalized note for everyone at their plate, something like
Yes.
that, where that doesn't cost, and I mean, obviously it takes a
Yeah.
lot of time, but it's just like a really sweet gesture you can do. And I think people nowadays, with everything just being on your phone and go, go, go and
Right.
fast, it's just like people really appreciated like a little note of like why you're there and what you mean to them. Like that's so
Yeah.
sweet. And that, I
Yeah.
mean, it was like a reel that went viral too. Like people just love those little personal
Hmm.
details. Those were always like, yeah,
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, tactical things.
yeah.
Hmm. For sure.
Oh, well, Jen, we're gonna have to you back for part two
I know. It's
because
like I
this
feel like we
was
can keep going, but yeah,
yeah, we could
I
keep
Yeah.
guess.
going. No, thank you so much. I'm really excited to hear the feedback from our audience about this because this is not something we've talked about in the past in terms of just like getting deep inside the brains of a wedding blog. So thank you for sharing so openly. And yeah, we'd love to have you back one day.
Yeah. If your followers have any questions, leave questions and maybe we can do a part two or just, yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks
Awesome. Well,
Amazing.
thanks so much for being here,
for
Jen.
having me. It was so fun. All right.
Thanks, Jabbers. As always, you know you can find us on Substack. If you become a paying member, we do VIP kind of members only um, extra podcast episodes on there once a month. So be sure to hop over there. The link is in the show notes, and we will link all of Jen's info for green wedding shoes and ways to submit and all that good stuff in the show notes as well. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye.
Bye.